Hi, welcome to our presentation on the nature's way of reading BaZi. My name is Alan Chong. I know many people have not heard about this nature's way of reading BaZi because most people probably have heard about the more popular ones such as the strong and weekday master system or the blind man system, right, of BaZi. They are the more popular ones. But not many people have heard about what is this nature's way of reading BaZi. So in this short presentation, I hope to give you all some idea what is this nature's way of reading BaZi. As we all know, nature gives birth to everything in this universe, right? And the rules of nature, we cannot defy it. Nobody can defy it. For example, like gravity, right? Whatever you let go, it will only fall down because of the reaction of gravity. For example, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So that is the law of nature. Uh, Everybody has to die, right? Nobody can live eternally. Whatever religion that you subscribe to, whether it's Buddhism or Christianity or Islam, all the founders at one point of time will also have to die, right? So that is the law of nature, and the law of nature has been given many names, such as the old Chinese, they call it the Tao. Some they call it karmic energy, cosmic energy, and everything else, right? So therefore nature defies everything, and the clue to our destiny is within understanding of nature. That is why when you understand nature, the nature gives us the code to what has been prearranged for us in this destiny of ours, right? Of course, today I'm not going to debate on the fact whether it's fate or it's destiny, or can destiny be changed or designed and things like that. But just stick on to the objective of just what they call introducing what is the nature's way of reading BaZi. Therefore, if we understand the nature's metaphor, then we will understand destiny. And when we can understand our destiny, there is a possibility that we can improve upon our destiny. So, what are the advantages of this nature's way of reading BaZi? One of it is because this system is very simple, it's more direct, it's less complicated. For example, if we take the strong and weekday master system, now the first thing in this system, very important in order to continue reading the BaZi, is to define whether the day master is strong or weak. Because that would have the next implication is that if you know he's strong, then what are the favorable elements? If you know he's a weak, then what are the other favorable elements, right? But if you get stuck at this level, is you cannot proceed. Or you get it wrong, you cannot proceed. Because the determining of the strength of the day master itself, there are many rules. There are, what I know is 3 rules in this system. And it gets a little bit complicated, and that's the reason why many people who are into this system get stuck along the way in reading BaZi, and then they turn to other methods, right, like Qimen Dunjia or Ziwei Dousu, purple star astrology, because they find that BaZi is very complicated. But the actual fact that it is not, because once you understand the mechanics on how nature works using the correct metaphor, then therefore you will gain clarity. Once you gain that clarity, you will be able to see through the BaZi pretty much easier, in a less complicated way, right? That is one of the key advantage of reading BaZi in the nature's way. Now the second advantage is that this system is pretty complete. Complete in the sense that you just need to understand the mechanics of nature and you can read the BaZi. But some other system is not so straightforward. So they need to add in a lot of other things such as verses, right? Verses such as, like for example, eating God C7 killing, or eating God to grow wealth and things like that. But along the way, if you have read enough of BaZi, then you will realize that some of these verses doesn't apply to every case. And why? Right? Because the key to unlock this is in the nature. If you understand the nature, then you will understand why certain case in the BaZi, it doesn't apply, the verses. It's not that the verses are wrong, it's just that they are conditions to apply the verse, right? And this is the thing. And when the verses doesn't work, then they use borrowed theories. So they add in a lot of theories such as death and emptiness, fan ying, fu ying, punishment, harm, uncivilized punishment, self-punishment, and a host of many other things. Okay, and then the system gets even more and more complicated. Then the third advantage of this system is that accuracy. It's highly accurate, right? Because accuracy is important in BaZi reading. Simply because we are going to make some important decisions based on the reading. So are we in good luck? Are we in bad luck? So if we are in good luck, should we move forward? If we are in bad luck, is this decision a good one to take now, right? Because a wrong diagnosis will lead to a wrong prescription. A wrong prescription will lead us into the taking wrong actions, and therefore life don't improve. We waste time, we waste effort, and into some people who are a bit unlucky, life gets worse, right? So it totally defeats the purpose of BaZi reading. Though that BaZi is not going to give us every little single information about the nitty-gritties of our life, but we would expect a system that would at least drive us in the right direction most of the time, right? And this is where the understanding the nature's way of BaZi will help a lot, because nature don't lie. And the sun always rises in the east and sets in the west. There's not one day that it rises in the west and sets in the east, right? Yes. Therefore, we need an accurate system so that we are able to read forward, to predict the forthcoming future. We do not want a system that is good for reverse engineering. That means things that have happened and you try to work backwards and try to reconcile the theory as to why this thing happened to this person. And if it doesn't match, then perhaps they will use some borrowed theories to match, so that they will get the reality matched to the concept. Now that is totally defeating the idea of BaZi reading. Then that system becomes unreliable. That becomes a danger, right? Because we are dealing with a person's destiny. We're not dealing with some sandcastles. There is a huge implication behind a wrong reading, correct? I'm sure many of you would agree with me on this point, right? Okay, so now I'm going to start to introduce to you a little bit about nature's reading. But today, I'm going to only show you just the 10 heavenly stamps, because there are much more into this, into that. So it's a very elaborate system, but that would be too long for this slide, right? So I try to keep it short. So we just use the 10 heavenly stamp as a demonstration. Now, most of you who have studied BaZi before probably know that this character here is known as the Jia, right? So the Jia is called a yang wood, and you probably know it's a tree. But in the nature's way of reading BaZi, very much we emphasize on this metaphor. This is only one of the metaphors that you can use. There are many metaphors that you can use for a Jia. Okay, so for now, you just imagine this is as a tree, right? So then that same goes for the 10 following heavenly stamps, such as yin wood, flower. So in this case, I use the flower to represent, because I will use this for the next coming example. Then you have the beng, the yang fire. So today I call it the sun. Then you have ding, the yin fire. So for this example, I call it the bonfire. Then you have the Wu earth, right? The Wu earth is the Yang earth, it's a large piece of earth. Then you have the Ji earth, it's the soil, right? It's a soil. This is not a cow dung, it's a soil, right? And you have Keng as the Yang metal. I call it the X in this case. You have a Xing metal, the Caesar, right? It's the Yin metal, soft metal. You have Ren, the Yang water, sea water, or whatever, river water. Hui in this case is the Yin water, it's the last of the 10 heavenly stem. We call it rain. Okay, now understanding this is just one part, but most importantly is that how they interact within the nature. So the nature, the environment we are talking about is actually referring to your BaZi chart, right? For example, here a tree. How does the axe react with the tree, with the flower, with the soil, with the rain, the koi, and no, the river here with the rain and things like that, right? So until you understand the pictorial part of the BaZi, then it's very much easier to read BaZi. It's less complicated, right? And it's most importantly, it is accurate. So I give you an example here of this person, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. I don't have the hour, but I think for this example, it suffices to use just a three pillar, just a simple demonstration. And the best way to demonstrate is to show you two system way of reading so that you have a better idea, that you can understand what are the differences between the nature's way and the strong weekday master system. Okay, now here I have tabled out some timeline for Jeff. For example, around 1995, he entered the luck of Xing You, metal luck. Was just 1 year after he started Amazon, and by 97, the Amazon was public listed, right? And then you have in the luck of Keng Sen, which started around 2005. He released Kindle in 7, and in 2013 he purchased the Washington Post, right? And finally, when he entered the Ji Wei luck in 2015, he eventually in 2017 he surpassed Bill Gates as the richest man in the world. Okay, so if we use the strong and weak day master system, definitely you can define this person as a strong day master for two reasons. One, because he's born in the resource month. Resource is defined as the element that produces the day master. So day master is metal, so you know that earth produces metal, right? So if earth produces metal, definitely the metal is strong. And in this system, it also says that another criteria apart from season is to use what they call rooting. So you see the Keng is sitting on top of another metal, so it's a very strong root. So based on these two criteria, Jeff is considered as the strong day master. Now, as for a strong day master, the favorable element according to the strong weekday master system, very sure is the output and the wealth. And the unfavorable part would be the parallel, that means the Bijian and the Jiecai, that is the peer and the on the rock wealth, right? And then the resource is the two unfavorable elements. So now, if you were to follow this system, the unfavorable element are these. So parallel here is defined as the metal, because Jeff is a metal person. Therefore, the parallel must be of metal element. And resource is the element that produces the day master, which is the metal. So it has to be the earth element, right? So in other words, we are saying that metal and earth are both the unfavorable element in this system. But how then would you reconcile? Right? Because in 1995, when he had these results, he was in the metal luck, in the Jiecai. Jiecai is the rock wealth luck, right? Then in 2005, Keng Sen is a Bijian. Bijian is the peer, right? The peer, or we call it the parallel luck. But again his wealth grew, right? His empire expanded. And finally come here, 继位, the both earth element, right? The 真因 is the resource. So how do you reconcile that? So it becomes very confusing, right? And it's complicated, it's confusing. Now, how do we read this in using the... Okay, so a picture paints 1,000 words. So just focus on this little picture here, right? Now you know Jeff is a Keng Day master. It's a metal. So in this case, I give him a metaphor of the axe. And beside there's a Yi wood, which is the wealth element. And the wealth element is sitting on top of a pile of soil. So this axe has difficulty amassing his wealth because the flower is very elusive to the axe, right? Okay, I missed out this one, the kuei, right? The kuei is the snow here, right? So because the axe has difficulty with the flower, therefore he needs assistance. Assistance from who? From the metal element. He needs the scissor to help, or he needs another axe to help contain the flower, right? And why during 52, during the earth luck? Why? He suddenly became the richest because the earth, here is the earth, right? When the flower sits on top of the earth, what will grow? The flower will grow, right? Because the earth, the soil has foundation, is good for the flower to root. It provides nutrients, it provides everything to the flower. And therefore, the flower, which represents his wealth element in this battle, grows, right? And this is the reason why. Despite you see that the goat here, the Wei, has a clash to the Chou. And this clash is good actually. So it also debunks the myth that clashes are bad. So clashes sometimes can be good because this clash brings him more wealth, more assistance, more help. And that's why everything grew, right? That is the reason why when you look at the nature's way of reading Bazi, things become more clear. It becomes much simpler. You do not have to worry if it's strong or weak day master, You just have to look at the environment, the whole environment here, right? And you can start to read something about the person's life. Okay, so this is just a very simple way of reading Bazi, showing you using the nature's way. Of course, there are many other things behind that I have not explained here because it's just too much for this slide, this presentation. So, but anyhow, I hope to I achieve my objective of giving you some idea what is the nature's way of reading Bazi. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it, and if you like do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and perhaps in the future when we have more, then you'll be notified automatically. Okay, thank you.